Last time we talked about a paranormal phenomenon that happened to you,
Oh
and
yeah.
you were presenting. But today, I am presenting, and I am presenting a series of murder that are still unsolved to this day, believed to be made by a serial killer known as the Craigslist Ripper, the Lisk Murderer, or the Gilgo Beach Killer. These are all the same person. So, are you ready to hear that?
I've actually only really ever heard like articles about this. I guess I've read articles about this. You don't hear an article.
Oh,
But
you read articles about
I've
this.
like I've never actually been in depth on this. I was always just like, oh, man on Craigslist killing people, stay off Craigslist, okay. But that was it. I never really looked into this one. I've known about it, so I'm actually super excited now.
Okay, you've known about it. I have never heard about that killer before doing my research.
Because we talked about this last week. You live in sweet Canada, and I'm in the world's cesspot.
You would be surprised what can happen in sweet Canada. I've watched a show about a Canada murderer recently. He was not a nice person.
All right, get into this. I'm excited. I want to hear
Okay.
about the Craigslist killer.
Okay, let's hear it. So the Lisk killer is presumed to have had to 10 to 16 victims over the course of 20 years. So our story today starts with Shannon. Shannon Gilbert. She's a 24-year-old from New Jersey. She is working as an escort. It is May 1st, 2010, and she goes on a Craigslist date to pay for her mother's birthday gift. Okay, so her mother tries to talk her out of it, saying that just her presence is enough and that she doesn't have to go on a date to pay for a gift. But Shannon says it is not enough, and Shannon goes on a date. And so that night, her driver, who's called Michael, is waiting outside of the house where she has her date, who is called Joseph. And then Shannon goes crazy. She starts seeing that she's in danger and yelling and starting to act erratically, and she's shouting, "They're trying to kill it! They're trying to kill me!" Then Joseph runs out, goes see Michael, the driver, and asks him to end the date because he is freaked out. And so the story goes. Is it the truth? We will never know. But Shannon runs away from both of them. So she was last seen by Joseph and Michael, then she runs away, and she was seen banging on residents' door and screaming for help before running off in the night. That night, she made a 23 minutes call to 911, saying she feared for her life. She was never seen again. No trace of Shannon when the police arrives to site. So this is how it starts.
That's very intense. Like, she was with her driver and the date.
Yeah.
And then she ran back to the driver and was like, "Hey, cancel this. They're trying to kill me."
Yeah.
And then instead of staying with the driver that she trusted, she just like booked it and left.
Yes. It is reported though that she had mental health issues. I believe it was bipolar disorder. And she was reportedly not taking her medication. So is this Shannon going ill, or is the person actually trying to kill her? We don't know that part.
Oh.
We don't get to know that part. This is one of the issues with Shannon. Was it a mental health issue? Was she decompensating, or were they actually trying to kill her?
But so at the end of it, she's like, she just disappears. Like nobody sees her, nobody hears from her again. Like, she's just gone. Girl.
Right now she's gone. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
right now
there's
she's
gone.
gone.
There's a whole story to go. I should.
This is the start of the story. But
right.
you are more than welcome
crazy.
to ask questions, and if you're out of your place, I will tell you.
All right, please do put me in my place. All right.
So Shannon went on a date on May 1st, okay? And it is now December 2010. So December of the same year, so 7 months later. And John Malia is a Suffolk County police. He is doing his routine training with his dog, which happens to be on the beach. And he discovers a body, the skeletal remains of a woman. And so he thinks, this is it. We found Shannon, right? We found Shannon, finally. We've been searching for her for 7 months. This is Shannon. And the body is in a burlap sack. And the burlap sack is nearly disintegrated. So it is not possible to identify it right now. But my story is not 100% following the timeline, and so I will tell you now, this body will later be identified as Melissa Barthelemi's body, not Shannon's. And so the serial killer, the list killer, he kept Melissa's phone as a memento and called her sister. Melissa, she disappeared from her home in Bronx in 2009, so a year prior. And after her disappearance, there was several calls made from her phone to her sister. The calls were located in Madison Square Garden and other popular places of New York. They were always short, so they could not be located by the police, but they were always made from busy places. The person calling from Melissa's phone claimed to be the murderer. He said to her sister that he was the one that killed her.
That's wild. Like, he just kills her, or claims to be the one to kill her, saves her phone, and then just constantly is in contact with the sister for a year in like this Jason Bourne style. I'm in a very popular place where you can't just walk up and see me, and the phone calls are like super short so the police can't track me.
Yeah.
That
is thought true. That is thought true. So the person, and we don't know if that person has any relation to the Shannon case for now. But that killer, he knows things and he plans things. I think he made that very clear, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So we don't know if this is our killer. We just know that this is another thing that has happened.
Yes. So we are searching for Shannon's body, but we find Melissa's. What? Who is this?
I didn't ask for you. All
So
right. We found a Melissa, not a Shannon.
We found a Melissa, not a Shannon.
All
and
right.
so, just one itty bitty fact before we move on. The phone calls were made from Manorville to Melissa's phone around the time of disappearance. So before the phone was taken by the presumed killer, there was a lot of phone calls made from Manorville to Melissa's phone.
Okay, it's like somebody trying to get in contact with her.
Yes, from Manorville. This much we know. I do
Alright.
have a picture of where Manorville is right here. If you look at my stream, and the Gilgo Beach is where the body was found. So it's about a 40 minutes drive from there. It's not that
Okay,
far.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna close the map now. Okay, so now they were looking for Shannon, but they find Melissa. So they're like, maybe we should dig that place. Maybe we should search it through. This is odd. Is there another body? We still haven't found Shannon, who disappeared here. So we're gonna keep looking, right? And so
Would make sense.
And so they do. 2 days later, while they were searching, we are still at Gilgo Beach. So the pinpoint I just showed on the map. And we found 3 more bodies.
Oh.
Is this Shannon? Is this Shannon? And so the 3 more bodies. Hold on, I need to get things ready over here. Here. Oh, I spoiled it. I'm sorry. Wait. That's not what I want. I don't
So
think
you
my
have
thing...
like a whole who's who board like set up for yours. You were like
Yes!
super ready for this week.
I'm super ready for this week. Okay, so we found 3 more bodies. The first body is claimed to be Maureen Brainard Barnes' body. She is a 25-year-old. She was last seen July 10th, 2009. Shortly after Maureen's disappearance, a friend received a call from an unfamiliar number. The man claimed he had just seen Maureen alive and that she was staying at a whorehouse in Queens and never called again. Is that the same man? He didn't claim this time to be the murderer, and he only called once, not from the victim's phone. Moving on to the next body. The next body is Megan's Waterman. She was last seen June 6, 2010. I don't have any crunchy details on that one. I am sorry.
She was here. She's not here.
Yeah, she's just gone. I don't know how, when. I have no info on Megan, but she is gone since June 6, 2010. Now, Amber Lynn Costello is our last body. She's a 27-year-old. She was last seen September 2nd, 2010. She had received several calls from a client offering to pay $1,500 for her services before disappearing. And then, never heard of her again. Did she take that offer? We don't know. We don't know, but we definitely have a thing going on with the phone, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So that's the kind of going theme here.
So this was December. It is now late March 2011. We still haven't found Shannon. So we have to keep looking. We have to keep looking. And at this point, we are like, how many bodies can we found at Gilgo Beach? Like, we're clearly onto something here. So we have to keep looking. So we are now near Oak Beach. Here. And we are gonna find 4 more bodies in the other area of the parkway. And so the 4 more bodies we find are Jessica Taylor's, who is 20 years old. I can update my list here. Hold on. All right. So Jessica Taylor, 20 years old. She was missing in July 2003. So 7 years prior, 8 years now, because we are now in 2011. We find a skull, a pair of hands, and a forearm on March 29th at Gilgo. And hold on, it doesn't stop here. It matches a naked and dismembered torso with missing head and hands found on July 2006, 2003 in Manorville. Sounds familiar?
Where the calls were coming from.
Where the calls were coming from. We found another body, which is Valerie Max, a 24-year-old. We find a human head, a right foot, and a hand on April 4th. The rest of the body had been discovered November 2000 in the same part of Manorville as Jessica's. We also find a baby female toddler between 16 to 24 months. It is still unidentified to this day. It is known as Baby Doe. Baby Doe was found on April 4th, 2,050 feet away from the partial remains of Valerie. It was wrapped in a blanket, no visible signs of trauma. It is an African American baby wearing gold earrings and a gold necklace. We also find the body of John Doe, who is believed to be between 17 and 24 years old, on April 4th at Gilgo Beach. John Doe is a young Asian male who died from blunt force trauma. Likely has been working as a prostitute, as all of our victims right now. All of our victims so far were prostitutes posting on Craigslist. Okay, this is what we know so far. John Doe was wearing woman clothing at the time of death and had been dead for 5 to 10 years prior.
Oh.
So, here I have a Baby Doe picture. That's just an unknown picture because we don't know much about Baby Doe. Okay, so we found 4 more bodies. Why not expand our search? Because we are onto something and we haven't found Shannon yet. Where is Shannon? Where is she?
I think after finding 8 bodies looking for Shannon, I would probably stop.
But you can't. This is not how it works.
You can. Nothing would make me be on a beach and just keep digging up dead bodies. At some point, I would just be like, I need to go away now for a minute, get some fresh air.
Yeah. This is why you're not a police officer.
There's many more reasons why I'm not a police officer.
Fair enough.
But I can't look at beaches the same now. There's so many beaches here in Florida, and now I'm just like, wow, the sun, the sand, the possibility of unexpected murder.
Okay. So
body count's getting high.
Body counts.
We are at
7.
7 and a toddler.
7 and a toddler. Well, no, actually we are at 7 because Shannon is on our board, but no body from Shannon. So we have 7 bodies and a missing person. Actually. Is that it? No, I can't count. There's Baby Doe. You're right.
So it's 7 adults.
And a baby.
A baby that we don't know where it came from. It was just there. I'm assuming it might have been one of these people's, because they might have been like, hey, I couldn't get a babysitter, I'm sorry.
Oh my, yeah, I guess.
But I don't know it. I don't know any other reason why there would just be, a literal mass grave of adult bodies and then 1 toddler.
Yeah.
It could have been theirs, and they were like, this ain't the lifestyle for you. And,
Unless that person was having the client over, and like the toddler was sleeping in a room, and then the murderer found the toddler and was like, I cannot leave this toddler alone in the world, so I might just kill it too.
Right, because that's how the revenge story happens, and then he knew it would probably come for him later on.
Yeah, I have no idea. We might never know. we might never know that part. So the search is now expanded to the Nassau County border on April 6th. Do I have a picture? We will pull that up. So we see here the division between Nassau and Suffolk. So 5 days after expanding the search to the other county, we find an additional set of human remains, as well as a separate skull. The potential victims number is now raised to 10 since December. So we find the remains of Peaches, which is our Jane Doe number 3. On April 11th, we find her dismembered skeletal remains in a plastic bag found near Jones Beach State Park, confirmed by DNA to be Baby Doe's mother. The dismembered torso of the young African American is found at Hempstead. I do believe I have this place here. It is not that far. It is here. My stream is getting cluttered. But Hempstead is over there.
I've actually screen captured and hijacked the center portion of your screen
so
that my viewers can see all your graphics and what's going on.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And we're having a pinpoint map here with the red.
Oh yeah, it's great. So much work. So explain
Hempstead.
your map here.
Over there.
I will do the best to translate over here.
Perfect. Okay, so this is where the torso is found. And the torso was found at Lake State Park on June 28, 1997, in a plastic container, so where I pinpoint. The victim had a heart-shaped peach tattoo with a bite out of it and drips falling out from its core on her left breast. That is why we call her Peaches. I do have a picture of the tattoo. Just give me a second. Here is Peaches. And here, this is Peaches' tattoo. And we are also revealing Fire Island Jane Doe, which is Jane Doe number 7, because I'm not saying this in the proper order, but at some point they were all Jane Does, and they were later identified, like not that long ago. So it is April 11th, still 2011, and near Tobey Beach we find a separate skull and several teeth. They are linked by DNA testing to a set of legs found in a garbage bag on Fire Island on April 20, 1996. The victim had a surgical scar on her left leg. So, Fire Island is... do we see it on my map? I thought I had a Fire Island. I don't think I do. It's really near, but I don't seem to have it. I'm very sorry.
That's all right.
It's really near. Okay.
So it's all in this peninsula strip area. Is where all of this is like just popping up left and right.
Yeah. Okay. So it is now June 16th, 2011, and the county police raised the reward for some tips about that murderer from $5,000 to $25,000 because they don't have a clue anymore, and this will be the highest ever reward in the county history to find a murderer. No.
$25,000.
Yeah.
For any information leading to a clue.
Yeah.
So they're
desperate.
They are full blown at this time. They're like, we are, what do you want? Give us a tip. So they're just coming up dry, left and right. All they're finding is Yeah, aftermath. It's just bodies and parts and trash cans and all this stuff. So that's bad. Like when it seems like there's just so much carnage that people are just opening dumpsters and like, oh, here's some legs, and then like later on somewhere down the road there's just a plastic bin that's got, you know, another part in it, and they're just like, we don't know what's going on. Also, it's super scary how clean, and I don't want to say professional because that's very, very not. Don't be a professional killer, please. Killing people professionally is not a job. But how professional the Craigslist killer seems about this, because like they're literally just seem to be taunting like authorities at this time. They're just discarding stuff everywhere, and they're like, you can't. And maybe that's why they couldn't do it. I don't know. I'm not a killer, so I couldn't explain how that works.
Yeah. This is crazy. And like the fact that they link things from 2010 and 11 to 1996, 97 shows that this killer has been going for a long time. And the fact that there's newer bodies, that killer is still going. So there is gonna be more victims. So that for me explains why they go full blown on that and raise the reward, because they're like, we cannot keep having those murders going on. We don't have a clue here. We need answers. We need to stop this. And like, I'm thinking about it right now and I'm having chills. Like, this is crazy.
You want me to help calm your chills?
Yes.
And take a commercial break. My girlfriend just brushed the dog, and
oh my god. Wow. So much floof.
This is our tension break here, brought to you by Luca. All the fluff. Just
oh
from the
my
brush.
god. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Thank you, darling.
Okay.
Tension break over. Back to the murder.
Back to murder, guys. So we were in April 2011. We are now June 16. No, I said that. June 16. We were raising the warrant. Now, December 13, 2011. The remains of Shannon are found in a marsh half a mile from disappearance site. The police believe she drowned after stumbling into the marsh. That theory infuriates Shannon's mother. And to this day, we don't know if Shannon is really related to the list killer or if she is just the unfortunate disappearance that caused the Lisk murders to be unraveled. Because her body is different from the others. She is in the marsh. She's like where she's more at sight than the others. She is not dismembered. Her case is the black sheep of the cases. Is it the same murderer? Maybe. Is it not? Maybe.
So they didn't... The area where Shannon disappeared, they didn't, like, sweep that area. They didn't see the giant marsh and was like, hey, maybe we should look here. This seems like a place where people would disappear at. They just let it go for years.
Yep.
And then finally somebody one day was like, hey, did we look here?
Yeah, so I think it was like a bystander who found her body or something. I'm not sure though. But she disappeared on May 1st, 2010, and we discovered December 2011.
Okay,
like,
so this is a year later.
Yeah, like a year and a half.
I mean, I can't say it like it's any better. Like, I still think searching the immediate area is probably like if I lose something, I go back to the last place I saw it.
And
And it's typically there.
yeah, and half a mile does not seem that far. Like, I'm not a mile person because I am Canadian, but half a mile does not seem that far.
Oh, that's right. Y'all do, well, the rest of the world does what, kilometers?
Yes, the rest of the world does that. Welcome to 2021. Welcome to the world.
Well, welcome to the rest of the world, America. So a kilometer, that's a little over a mile, right? Or is it a little under a mile?
Yeah, I believe that a mile is 2.2 kilometers. You seem to be Googling that, so I'll let you.
I'm not Googling anything. Oh. Stop calling me out.
I heard click, 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 and I saw your face like, yeah, I'm on it. Don't worry about it.
I want to know how far a kilometer is. I've never...
Tell me if I'm wrong. I might be. So, we're now moving on to 2015. No new clue. No nothing. FBI joins investigation. And we are gonna go over a bit later why it took so long for FBI to join. But right now we're gonna leave it as is. Okay. So 4 years goes on, nothing, and then FBI joins on this serial killer murders. The last update we have to this day was in January 2020. Police commissioner released images of a belt found at the crime scene with the letter MH or WH, depending on the way you look at the belt. Here's the belt. It was found at the initial investigation near Ocean Parkway in Gilgo Beach. And so in 2020, a lot of pictures from the scenes were released to the public to help and get clues because they didn't have any. And to this day, that was not really successful. Although, you know how Shannon was said to have stumbled in the marsh and drowned.
Yes.
But there is also a 23 minutes 911 call, 911 call from the night she disappeared. Right. They are very protective of that call. There was a court order to release it to the public. And I've made my research and I haven't found it. The police refuse to release the call. We don't know why. They are protective of it, but they are. Is it because she just seems overwhelmingly ill and they're trying to protect the memory of Shannon? Could be a possibility. Is it because it will prove that she did not stumble in the marsh? Maybe. We don't know because it's not released. These are my opinions.
I don't know why they wouldn't. I don't know why they wouldn't release that. Like, that seems like a big key piece of evidence that, as we've proven time and time again, that every time there's something like that, that's very a vague, not so vague piece of evidence, but it seems very obscure. It seems very like it's got a lot of parts to it. You know, you've got a building full of the world or America's best investigative equipment. Like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. But there's people out here that literally just look into people's bank accounts for fun. Like, not even to be malicious. They're just like, I want to know how much so and so does, and they can just like go punch in some computer stuff and get into your bank account, and they just look and they're like, wow, you spend so much on junk food, dude, what is wrong with you? And then they get out of your bank account. Like, releasing all this information to the public time and time again has helped. And we're in 2010 at this point, so we're past that technological jump that we had in the 2000s. So I have no clue why they wouldn't release this, and I think had they released the audio to somebody somewhere would have already been like, hey, this is in the background, or hey, this is, there's a ton of murder mystery kind of things, and we were watching one a couple weeks ago where that exact thing happened. They released the audio footage, and somebody was listening on some type of enhanced device, and they were like, I hear whispering in the background, and that like brought a whole new layer to the case. So
Yeah.
I can probably agree with you. They probably just wanted to preserve the memory of Shannon, but after you find, an entire Applebee's party worth of bodies on a beach, like, you need to start unraveling things, and you need to start doing them fast.
I agree, and as lately fan of murder mysteries, don't underestimate the public. Don't. There are people out there dedicated to that. Dedicated to finding those itty bitty tiny little details that you might need and you might not have time to find out. And I am not gonna talk about the case that comes in mind when I'm saying this, because this might be an interesting case to change your mind about Canada. So I'm gonna keep this a secret. But don't underestimate the public. Don't.
We saw what happened last year. Don't underestimate the public.
So the investigation is still open as we are talking now, but we do have a potential killer list that we're gonna go through before we end.
It's still going?
It's still going.
Oh.
So public, counting on you.
Surprise, this story gives us zero closure.
No, we don't get closure today, my friends.
Like I said, I didn't know I just knew there was a Craigslist killer. I knew that you shouldn't be doing things like that on Craigslist anymore, and I did not know that it was still like a thing.
I don't think
they're still there.
Yeah, I don't think that killer gets as much attention as it used to. Like, there's not much new release, and they didn't find like new bodies, and the thing is kind of like dormant right now. But the killer could have just like gone in another state or another country and kept going there, because some bodies were not found for like 15-16 years. Like,
right.
So that killer may just have gone, okay, this is the United States, and they won't talk to each other that much. So if I go on in another state, as long as they don't find anybody, like, I'm good. So this killer is could be on the loose and going on right now somewhere else, and we don't get to know that.
I wish I could contradict that statement, but I hate that you're absolutely right.
I'm sorry.
Mysteries,
I'm right.
I'm sorry. No, you're not. It's fine.
Yes, I'm Canadian. Of course I am sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Where are my manners? Most murder mystery cases that I've ever seen typically end up with a story, and like, years into an investigation, they're like, oh, there are murders in Kentucky. There are murders in Tennessee. Those are right next to each other. Maybe we should talk, because they're probably like connected. They probably are the same person. And it's like years down the road. They're like, did you have a string of murders? Oh, well, gee, that's so funny. I had a string of murders too. Well, don't you think that maybe maybe they're connected. Like, my guys were stabbed and your guys were stabbed, and well, yeah, but my guys were stabbed differently. Like,
Ted
my
Bundy.
guys, yeah, exactly.
But Ted Bundy
So
is a now famous known case, but like this is still going on. Like the major point in the Ted Bundy murders is like they admitted like if we would have talked to each other, this would have been solved earlier. And to this day, I'm not sure like if they find a single body, they're not like, hey, like they have to find several bodies. So I think that if you don't like go if you don't go and kill a lot of people in the same counties, I shouldn't say that, but I think you would
don't go and kill a lot of people in the same county, please.
Please, like, don't murder, okay? Unless
Just
you
don't
want me
murder,
to podcast you. No joke, please don't. But
And
like,
now I think we're a little more prepared now. I think we're
of
pretty
course, of
on
course.
we're pretty on the pony now with all that stuff. I mean, they can have proved and shown time and time again, and they've caught killers and stuff this way. They've just picked up cigarettes off the sidewalk and just DNA tested them just for fun or whatever. And there was a research lab that was doing this, and they were doing it to figure out demographics that traveled certain paths, and they were just like picking up cigarettes and like just DNA testing them, like, oh, hey, you know, this is the DNA of this person. They work at this place and they take this route. Also, as a way to be like, hey, literally anything you throw out can be traced back to you now. And they found a freaking murderer doing this.
Wow, that's crazy.
Just randomly going through all these things. They were like, hey, this person was in this area, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then it got back to a mother, aunt, sister of a brother whose cousin's, you know, kid works for that city's Bureau of Investigation. And they were literally just like in chatting one day about it and was like, where did you say this person was? And then they went back and looked at the case and they were like, hey, funny, it didn't say you were here. You said you were here, but we got a thing that says you were here. Come with us.
That's
So like, and they solved it like immediately. So nowadays, I definitely don't think you get away with just literally leaf blowing body parts all across the city.
I do think that's true. I hope that's true. I want it to be true. Yeah. We're gonna move on now to our potential killers because this leaves me completely speechless. Hopes and dreams crushed. Please don't be a murderer.
Crushed.
Okay, so potential killers. The first one, we're gonna go with the cleared suspects first. That's more funny. Okay. One of the suspects at one point was James Bissett. He took his own life 2 days after Gilbert's remains were found, so the last body that was found, 2011, Shannon's body. 2 days after, this guy takes his own life while in his car at Matituck Park, which is not that far away. We don't know much about him. He ran a nursery. He took his own life, so like they didn't investigate it that much because like if it would be him, like problem solved, right?
You're right.
I mean, no, there's no justice for the victims, and like take me with a grain of salt, please. But like for the police, they're like, if it was this guy, he's dead, so like he's not gonna commit other murders. And like often in investigations, I find that for the police, it is not always about like respect for the victims and their family, and more in an aspect of protecting the population, so making sure that that person does not commit any other murders. And so if that person took their own life, they're like, well, I mean, it could be him. And yes, like, the families are not gonna have closures and blah blah blah, but do they really care about closure? Because they're like, if it's him, like, it's not gonna be dangerous for anybody else. There's not gonna be anyone that's gonna die. So, like, I don't think they spent much time on this one.
Right. It becomes the same outcome where it's just, you know, if he didn't do it to himself, then it's just they were going to do it anyways. So, yeah, I 100% get that point.
But this idea makes me sad for the families. But I am not an investigator. I am just a teeny tiny Canadian podcaster. So, like, there's so much I can do. So we're gonna move on to Dr. Peter Hackett. He is a Oak Beach resident. So, Oak Beach is here on the map.
Sounds like a murderer name.
Oak Beach is where Shannon was last seen. If you are looking at my map, top right. I'm gonna remove the map now. Okay. He is the neighbor of Joseph Brewer, the client of Shannon the night she disappeared. 2 days after Shannon's disappearance, he called the victim's mother and claimed he was taking care of her and that he ran a home for wayward girls. 3 days after the call, he called the mother again, and he denied that he had any contact with the daughter and that he had called her. The police found that there was records of Peter calling Mary, Shannon's mother. The remains of Shannon's were found near Peter's backyard. He was ruled out as a suspect because he had a history of inserting himself into certain major events and exaggerating his role in it. So he was cleared. Peter is cleared. That seems to make you react.
That did make me react. I understand that you've got somebody who cries wolf a lot.
Yes.
And he just wants to be a part of things. We all know people like that. But when the remains of somebody are found literally almost in your backyard.
Yes.
I'm still grabbing you. Like, hey, whether you actually are tied to this or not, if you just wanted to be a part of it and this is just somehow bad luck for you, we literally found somebody dead almost in your backyard and you wanted to make accusations that you were tied to this. So congratulations. You are now suspect number 1. Please come with us. Like, I don't think that's hard.
Maybe it was like this at this point.
I don't think that's hard. And also, Shannon was the final body found, correct?
Correct.
So this is almost 2 years after the initial investigation has started.
Yes.
With no leads.
Yes.
I would just take him. I would be like, I got to get something. Like, somebody somewhere in an office has to be mad that you have no suspects in custody. I would be, hey, you need to just come on. Let's go talk. And at least investigate that. Like,
yeah. Okay. So our next suspect is Joseph Brewer, the client. On the last night we saw Shannon alive. Joseph is a Oak Beach resident, one of the last people known to have seen Shannon alive. He was hiring her as an escort from Craigslist on the night of disappearance, as we said. He claims that shortly after arriving at residence, Shannon started to act erratically and fled into the night. She was after that, let me remind you, seen running through Oak Beach, pounding on doors of homes in Brewer's neighborhood, and called 911 for 23 minutes, saying that she feared for her life and that they, they were trying to kill her. We have no evidence against Brewer. Cleared. Brewer is cleared.
And Brewer lived next to the doctor that was saying he had her in a Wayward Souls boarding house.
Yes.
Okay. Same statement as before. All of that and the emotions. So we've got 3 suspects now.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was just seemed like a coincidence. The other 2 probably should have really been looked at.
Okay. Moving on. John Bitwolf. John was arrested in 2014, linked by DNA to the two bodies of 2 prostitute homicide victims, Rita and Colleen. We have not talked about those because they are not cased from the list. They are bodies found in 1993 and 1994. Interesting fact, okay? I watch a lot of murder stuff. And they matched his DNA through his brother, who was convicted in May 2007. Clearly not 17. He was arrested in 2014. My date is not good. I don't know. His brother was convinced for something, an unrelated case. And when they do cross match, they can know if it's within a family, with a certain type of analysis, and clearly that's how they found out.
Okay.
But so he was linked through his brother. Sorry, John. You should have had a brother that didn't convince something. Okay. But jokes aside, there are known similarities between these 2 murders and the list cases, okay? John is a married carpenter who had lived in Manorville, 3 miles away from where the torsos of the Lisk victims Jessica Taylor and Valerie Mack were recovered. He was said to be a hunter who enjoyed killing animals. He has the grown daughter of Rita, one of John's known victim, was reported to be best friend with Melissa Bartlemy, one of the Gilgo Beach victim, the first one found, remember? John was not cleared, but we don't have good, strong evidence against John.
So they literally find a dead body of the original victim almost laying in 2 suspects' backyards, and they say nothing.
I mean, 3 miles is not a backyard. 3 miles.
I think that's closer than this weird DNA game of tic-tac-toe that they played to get over to the brother's relative and all this DNA testing. Again, mainly why I'm not a cop. I would probably be very bad at it. At least an investigator. But just the amount of the scope of everything that goes on here and how far it all ranges. I could agree that that's got to be a hard decision. If you bring in the wrong person, it's going to be easy to find out if they start killing again. And maybe they don't. Maybe they just live with it and get away with it for the rest of their life. Just,
But
they could literally just be your neighbor.
you're the American one here, so enlighten me. But if he was arrested for 2 homicide, isn't it like a life sentence already? So they don't have a rush to link him, right?
It's so weird how they pass life sentences now. Like,
And he was arrested in 2014, and there was nothing found since his arrest. Also, his murders, the bodies were found in 1993 and 1994. So, he could have done those murders first and then the Lisk murders. Like, the timeline here is correct, and if he has a lifetime sentence, no rush, right?
sounds like there's an investigation outside of your house right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is a busy city. They're coming to arrest me. They're like, you know stuff.
They have found out. They're on my way to my apartment right now too.
Oh
This is
crap!
the last you ever hear from us. Sorry, guys.
Sorry. There's creepy music too on my stream. Like, I'm sorry for the bad vibes today. The bad
I
vibes.
thought about the bad vibes.
The bad vibes. There's bad vibes on this podcast.
I thought about actually putting something up, but I didn't have my equalizer. Like, I didn't have any of my audio stuff set up today, so I didn't have my equalizer set up, so I didn't want to like worry about the music being too overbearing. But I wanted to do it too. But like I said, I had already spent, an hour and a half, 2 hours almost last night setting this up after work on my side, and it was 3 a.m. and I was like, I don't care about music.
It's fine. It's fine. I have the creepy vibes. We're good.
Oh, at least one of us was on the job today.
I mean, it was my narration today, so I had to be on point.
That is true. That's true.
Last time it was your job. Today is my job. Next week it's your job.
It is. I got a couple ideas.
Oh, interesting.
But to answer the earlier question, yes, homicides do typically result in life sentences here.
All right. So that clears that, at least. If John is really your guy, I guess you can sleep on your 2 ears. I mean, I'm trying to be positive here and give you a bit of closure, but like, don't expect big closure. We're not gonna get that, let me tell you. I'm trying to make you feel a little safe if you're American. Like, goodbye.
Nope, there's zero closure. I mean, honestly, if the cat distracted me. If he was here and got away, I don't think I would be here anymore. I think I would just be like, I got my good, had fun. It's a blast. It's time to leave.
Yeah. Okay.
I think, watch out, rest of the not USA.
I have a last suspect.
Oh, there's another.
There's another. I told you I'm gonna keep the best for the end. So John is one of the best, and the other best is James. James Burke is a former county police chief. He resigned in October 2011. Now, when was Shannon's body found? December 2011. So, shortly after, he resigned. He was charged in December 2011 of police brutality, among other issues. In December 2015, an escort who conducted business with Burke. So he was using services of escort. And remember, all of our victims, without exception, all of them were escort who posted ads on Craigslist. And so an escort who conducted business with Burke claimed he was connected to Long Island murders. We don't know much about that claim, but we know it is there. Now, November 2016, he was sentenced to 46 months in federal prison and 3 years of supervised release for beating a man who stole a duffel bag filled with sex toys and pornography from his vehicle. February 2016, he charges guilty for conspiracy to obstruct justice according to the Lisk murders. Remember how the FBI was so late in the investigation. James blocked the FBI to be in the investigations for a long time. And James is one of the reasons they were so late in the case.
Oh.
James was witnessed at a party on Oak Beach, April 2011. He was dragging a woman by her hair to the ground, although witnesses said that the woman saw it as playful. August 2011, a witness saw Burke a second time. The witness is the escort that claimed he was connected to the murders. We are talking about the same person right now. So she decided to hook up with James in August 2011, and she describes the relation as violent. He yanked her head during oral sex to the point where she started to tear up. He was then unable to reach orgasm. He threw $400 at the victim and he left. So, James clearly has deviant sex components. He is violent. He is aggressive. He blocked so many parts of the Lisk investigation while he could. James is sus. John is sus. We don't know which it is. These are our two suspects to this day. The main suspects, the ones that haven't been cleared, are John Bitrolf and James Burke. Chat, do you have any opinion on this? Okay, what do you think of this? Who is it?
I thought the others looked really guilty before this, but man, that last one really did it for me. I don't really see many avenues where there's another option where somebody like this isn't the person that did it. If you've got history of aggression, interference with the case, and again, probably a good reason as to why the 911 call was blocked, you know, he could have showed up to our original victim, like he could have showed up to her, because obviously dispatch had probably sent somebody. Could have been him, or he could have just been in the area and been like, hey, you know what's going on? I'm an officer here to help you. And she was just like all trusting, like, hey, look, they're trying to get me. And then he was just like, haha, I'll help you if. And then she was like, no, and just being schizophrenic about it. And that's where it ended.
It could be a possibility. I have someone saying here they both did it. Like, there's nothing saying that they're not linked. Or maybe some of the murders were made by one and the others were made by John. Maybe the Manorville murders are from John and the James murders are the Gilgo Beach one. We don't know. The ex-cop using escort seems the most sus to me, but again, no proof. No proof. That cop is clearly problematic. He clearly has some traits but so does John. John killed escorts. John enjoyed the killing of animals, which is a big red flag. But aggressivity, aggressivity. I'm giving up on this word today.
Aggression.
Thank you. Aggression, posture. Thank you. Aggression is a red flag, and so is like his sexual behavior red flag. They both have good red flags. For me, they're both deep into the sus nation.
Deep in sus nation.
Deep in sus nation.
is that gonna be one of our channel emotes? We're gonna get what's some made that just say sus nation.
Oh my god, we should.
Are we doing t-shirts?
Oh my god, we should. A hoodie, sus nation.
A hoodie sus nation t-shirts. Give us 3 months. We'll have them in the store.
I have some hype here.
Oh my gosh. So, that was wild. That's are there any more suspects?
No, we're done.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot. This is a lot to digest.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Hoodies are our thing. I know. Would you like a sus nation hoodie?
Hoodies are their thing. You know what? I'm gonna look into it now. I want a Sus Nation hoodie.
Me too, actually.
It's gonna be gotta design it now. Now we have to be artistic.
I designed my friend Coco's hoodie. I can look into it.
Look, there we go. We're done. That's it. We've got him. Oh man, that was more than I was ready to chew on today. That's a lot to think about. Like,
yes.
To even just think that this is unsolved.
This is unsolved.
Like, this person is still none of these people are in custody except for the one that was obviously linked to the 93 and 94 murders.
Yeah.
And they just have him because of those murders, and they were just kind of, hey, you did these, maybe you did these too. It's in the same area.
But let me check something. 46 month, he's almost 4 years, and he was convicted in November 2016, James. So he just got out in like 2020.
Okay.
But he is still supervised for 3 years, so he's still supervised as we're talking. So one is in prison, probably for the rest of his life, and right now James is under supervision. So this could explain why there are no new victims.
It's true. And also, if, from the murderer's side, if they have, like, you already have a scapegoat. Like, if it's not any of these people, like, you have a perfect scapegoat. And so he's probably just going to lay low and let these people go through their thing and be like, yeah, we watched these people. There were no more murders. It must have been them, because people are stupid.
Yeah.
And they're just going to be like, yeah, this is fine. We did it.
But
good job.
Then again, if we go through a serial killer behavior, that serial killer could remain calm for I don't know how long, but that would lead to major events after that. And I don't think he could have gone not doing anything since 2011. Like, the way serial killers work, they're always gonna want more of that rush, so the murders are always gonna get either more frequent or like different to get a better rush. So they're always gonna change something to, like, they're kind of hooked to the feeling, if I may say so. So I don't think that an unsupervised serial killer would have gone not doing anything for 10 years. It's been 10 years. I don't believe it is possible. I don't think so. So either it's one of them and they didn't do anything because they can't right now, or it's someone else and they moved. It's my opinion.
I think that's probably more of that line. The first murder, convicted. I think that one was isolated, and I think it was just done. As far as the officer goes, I think he was just a douchebag that was like, oh man, I probably need to get ahead of some things, and I need to resign because they're looking into, things with prostitutes and, escorts and sex work and all this stuff. And he's somebody who had clearly been indulging in it as a high-ranking officer, and he was just like, somebody's fixing to find out, because they're probably turning over every stone, and escorts and stuff are probably going to start coming forward about these people. Like, if you're an escort and somebody gyps you on a tip or whatever, gyps you on payment, they can just be like, yeah, he was being very aggressive, like he tried to kill me, and they would probably just go to that guy and arrest him immediately and be like, come on, we need to talk to you. And then nobody, at that time, there's people that do that. Most of them don't want it to be known that they're hiring escorts, so they're like wanting to keep it on the low. So he was probably the same way. He probably was like it happened with the escort that came forward. It was like he was very aggressive with her, and it just snowballed from there. Somebody saw him at a party, and then all the stories just started coming out.
I think that for me, James is more sus because of the way the body parts were spread. Because I feel like police serial killer could have more control based on evidence found. Like, ever since they started to find the bodies, nothing. We have nothing on the timeline starting from that point. And to me, that links James more than John, because John was arrested in 2014, and I don't think John would have stopped. Personal opinion. John is just this killer that needs his rush, and there's nothing that proves that John has any reasons to stop. He's a carpenter. Like, he's not that educated. Sorry, carpenters. We need you. No, wait. He's not that educated.
Ouch.
Crime related. Let me finish my sentence, please. Okay. So he's not as educated, crime related, than James is. And I don't know if John would have gone through the trouble of spreading body parts. The two bodies linked to John, they were full bodies, not spreaded bodies. Yes, they were escorts, but then again, an escort is an easy victim. It is known to be. You want to know why? Because you're not seen dragging a girl by the hair. She's gonna come with you willingly. Easy prey.
I'm so sorry.
What?
Oh, 1 second. Hey, Shinogi. Thank you very much for the follow. Oh, my notification was loud.
I was like, what did I say? Is that the carpenter thing again?
No, we're
okay,
good.
I apologize for the carpenter thing.
I just had a new
didn't
follow.
finish
I
my
appreciate
sentence.
that. Thank you so much. But Ooh, like I said, my equalizer is not on today. It was very
Oof.
loud.
You need to set that up for next week.
I do. I'm actually going to
This is
fix
your
it later today
homework.
when I get off the stream. All right. Ears are back to normal.
Okay. So yeah, I was just saying that the case, although like there was similarities, are not that similar. And to me, the fact that there is nothing, again, the fact that there is nothing after 2011, to me, screams James a little more than it screams John. The fact that he was interfering, there is a lot of red flags too in his behaviors. But to me, they're both sus. But to me, it's a little more James than John. I poop.
Definitely. Oh, it is a Poopmatic. Hello. Welcome. And my earlier viewers, we were in the middle of the story. I was trying not to break it up with conversation, but I see you all. I appreciate you all being here. Curly's viewers as well. I've been watching your chat. I appreciate all your inputs.
Yes, me too. Thank you. Sorry, I don't want to stop a story for like a comment because then I'm like we're never gonna get to the
Absolutely.
story.
Yeah. I do agree with you though on that final point. You know, being
200
suspicious is
IQ.
one thing. Being suspicious is one thing, but like the deliberately deliberately stopping and impeding an investigation from the FBI, whose name is literally the Federal Bureau of Investigations, to do what they federally do, just to investigate. It's all those people are doing. That's their one job.
Yeah.
They have no other jobs. They don't run errands. They don't do arrests, anything. They just go. They look into things and they look into them very good. And I think he knew that. And I don't think if I was cheating on, was he married? Did he have a spouse?
Ooh,
The
James or
officer?
John?
The officer.
No
Everybody's name starts
known.
with J.
Yeah, the officer. Nothing known related, but he wasn't too
I was fixing to say, I don't think I would fight the FBI to save my marriage or my relationship if I was cheating on them.
yeah.
I would probably have to take that L and just move on with my life. So I don't get it.
I blew your mind, didn't I? That's how I
Yeah,
felt for like 2 days after. Like I had to go through a lot and a lot of Lisk content to make that story work and to rework the timeline so it would be interesting and not just years and nothing linked, because that's how it was at first. So I had to like remake a timeline that is not the exact timeline just so it would be easier to follow. And for like 2 days after that, it didn't feel right. Nothing felt right. I was like, I am spending so much hours on this and I am knowing so many things about someone that could be out there right now. That is freaky.
and just spending the time on it to have no closure in the end. How did that feel?
Yeah. I feel
Like
powerless.
not even a hard suspect.
I
Like,
feel powerless. Going through the potential killers helped, and that's why I added them, because it helped me knowing that at least we had suspects, and some of them are good suspects, I believe. Even if they're not the murderers, I mean, like, we have reasons to believe they are, and that makes up for more closure than just we don't know who it is. Have a good day. Go on with your lives. You know?
right. Having a name tied to something does help a little bit, but
Yeah.
the fact that we still don't know that it was them or not is nerve-wracking.
Yes, I cannot do anything to help you with that, unfortunately. Go take a warm drink. Go in your blanket for a while. And maybe someday you're gonna have a assassination hoodie to comfort you.
Exactly. Just everybody take your time off today. Go relax. It's Saturday.